Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey there, this is Dennis Anyone with Dennis Hensley. It's a podcast about making things up and making things happen. I love talking to creative people, and today I get to talk to somebody that I just saw in a wonderful play. The play is called Grangeville, and I'm talking to the actor Tim Cummings, who plays Arnie in the play. It's a two-hander about two half-brothers. They're estranged. One of them is living in Europe. That's Arnie. That's Tim's character. The other one is living in Idaho, where they grew up. And the mother is sick, and they have to deal with stuff, but there's a lot of other stuff that comes up along with the sort of kind of logistical housekeeping, will, and paying bills kind of stuff that happens. And I just thought it was so beautiful. Tim is fantastic in it. So I was really excited that I got to talk to him a few hours after seeing it. But before we get to the interview, I want to remind you that this podcast is brought to you by me. I do it. So if you like it and you want to support it, there are a few things you can do. You can go to DennisAnyone.net and leave a tip in my virtual tip jar. Help me cover my expenses. You can also follow my Substack and Patreon spin-off podcast, which is called Dennis Hensley's Happy and Gay. I do it like once or twice a month, and it's free at the moment because I'm not doing it as much since I got my full-time job. But yeah, you can do that. It's really fun. And what else can you do? I'm going to be part of this Live Love podcast cruise in February of next year through the Derek and Romaine travel group. Derek and Romaine, obviously, they host my podcast on their channel as well. It's February 7th through the 14th. We're going to Mexico. I'm going to probably do a podcast from there and maybe some of my game stuff. And you can go to dnrtravel.com to learn about that. And yeah, that's it for the plugs. Here now is my interview with Tim Cummings. Joining me now from beautiful Silver Lake in Los Angeles, it's Tim Cummings. He's one of the stars of the play Grangeville, which I just saw a few hours ago, and I'm still processing, and I don't have a ton of notes because it all just came together very fast. But man, what a play, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Dennis.
I was knocked out by this play. It's two actors. It's a story of two half-brothers. How do you describe the play to people that don't know much about it or anything about it?
It's two estranged half-brothers that grew up in a trailer park in Idaho under some pretty severe conditions like alcoholism and abuse. And the younger brother, who I play, Arnie, escaped to Europe and became a very successful artist at one point in his career. When we meet these brothers at the top of this play, their mother is dying, and so they're forced to have communication again, communication that Arnie had cut off for decades. So that's where you find them, and then the play is about the unraveling of memory and a redemption story.
Yeah. And Arnie, as we come to find out in the play, as an audience member, you're looking at a guy who feels stuck and you want to help him get unstuck. Mm-hmm. And if that means forgiveness, then do it. But like sometimes feelings that we have, resentments, I think are justified, but they're no longer serving us. So what do you do? Gosh, there are so many themes in this play to talk about. And I'm sure as somebody performing it, at one point you're thinking about this and then you think about that, or you're way in. When you were first exposed to the material, what captured your imagination? What moved you about it? What stuck out to you?
I first was exposed to the material because one of my very best friends, the actor Paul Sparks, the amazing Paul Sparks, played Jerry in the original New York production. And he kept saying to me, "You have to see this play. You have to see this play. I wish we were doing this play together. You've got to see it." And that really piqued my interest. And of course, I've known Sam Hunter's work forever, and I love Sam Hunter, so I knew something was going on here. We went to New York and saw it, and it really resonated deeply with me. And because I know Paul and I know Sam and I know Sam's agent, I managed to get the play done on the West Coast, basically.
Oh, so you were part of making this happen at the the Rustin Group Theatre.
Technically I'm a producer on this. I'm not credited as such, but I mean, it wouldn't be happening without me. So there you have it. No, but I think the simplest way to say it is that there are parts of me and many of my friends of a certain age who are Arnies. Yes. And I wanted to elucidate that as truthfully and impactfully as I could. So that theme of being bullied as a young gay kid, especially in the 80s and the 90s, right? Like the Gen X gay guys coming up did not have a hard time. I mean, did not have an easy time.
Did not have an easy time. Yeah.
Did not have an easy time. And that's one part of the play. One part of the play. But there's also just the abuse of parents who were alcoholics or drug addicts. You know, I remember thinking a lot when I first read the play. It's not who is in my mind or who I think about, but I did think about Cher in Mask.
Yeah.
Because she was such a mess.
She was such a mess, but she was like a fierce mom, you know?
Yeah, she was a fierce mom. Yeah. But I thought that was my way in when I was like, well, a druggy parent leaving them alone in the trailer. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? Oh, can I curse? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. You can curse.
I have a potty mouth. Anyway, so as somebody who is the youngest of 6 siblings and gay, I mean, a lot of it resonated, but not so much in like that I wanted to do it for any kind of catharsis, but I wanted to do it for all the Arnies out there, and I knew that I could bring some level of truth to it.
Yeah, well, I certainly felt it. I, too, am the youngest of 6, and I too, am the artsy kid that left the town, right?
Yeah.
Because part of this is you got out, and you pursued your dreams, and then there's this pull back, and then the guilt of you weren't here taking care of mom, but I was here taking care of mom. These themes resonated very much with me. But also the other character, played by Jeff LeBeau, he's heartbreaking in his own way. Because what happens to somebody a bully who realizes, oh shit, I've been a bully. What do I do with that? And you feel like he's trying. And that's very moving. You know, like, I don't know. There's no easy answers in this play. And all this stuff comes up. My friend and I went to lunch afterwards, and we're talking about it. And he had parents that were more like the parents in the play, not great parents. And can you just write them off? You have a right to just write them off and be just like, I'm just fucking done. They did shit for me. They abused me. I'm done. I got out. But then I said to my friend, I was like, yeah, but Arnie's stuck. He's not exactly thriving. His art's he's not killing it. Maybe he has to forgive them for his own, because sometimes, you know, I believe this is true. You let go of grudges, not for the other person, sometimes for yourself, you know, because they're holding you back. These must have been themes that you talked about in rehearsal and you thought about.
Yep.
Have you come to any beliefs or conclusions around some of these things, around forgiveness, around holding on to things even though you're justified?
Yes, all of it. I mean, it's interesting to think about the extent to which these things follow you through your life. They follow him through his 20s, through his 30s, through his 40s, right? And these things are not going to go away unless you deal with them.
They're not. And I've learned, like, I had a father who wasn't abusive, but I was not well loved by him. I didn't even feel like he liked me, frankly.
Yeah.
And I thought as I got older, anything like childhood stuff would fade in time. No. It's more acute now. I can connect the dots between how I am in the world with certain dynamics of childhood. They don't fade. They're there. And with Arnie, it feels like it's affecting every part of his life. And as much as he's like, I'm not going back there, I'm done with that place. He's not done with that place.
Right. It's a reckoning. He's being called back, and the way that the production is presented with that wall, that cardboard wall, and not to give anything away, but what ends up being revealed, it's almost like he's created this world as one of his art pieces as a way to deal with it, as access to some emotions he hasn't been able to face, which is exactly what his husband Bram says to him. You used to deal with this in your art, and now you don't deal with it at all, and you've become hardened, and it's putting a rift between us. And I think between the pressure he has from his husband and his want, his desperation to kind of confront what happened in the past, he is led to the heart of the matter in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The performances of both of you are so good and rich, but you spend a lot of the play not looking at each other because there's video calls and phone calls. Yeah. One of you's in Holland and the other is in Idaho.
Yeah.
What's that like to develop chemistry and a partnership with another actor when you're not looking at them very much?
Yeah, it was really, really tricky, especially the way that our director, the great John Flynn, who directed this so beautifully with so much delicacy and astuteness. Because when we sit down, we are staring out into pitch black. I have a lot of friends who come and they're like, "You were staring right at me." I'm like, "No, I can't see a thing.
Right.
I literally can't see anything." And in a way, it feels like purgatory, which I think is a very good.
Well, certainly for that character, right?
Yeah.
He's stuck.
Yeah, and so we started doing that from the get-go, where John, interestingly enough, even though there's this great distance between these guys, he stuck us close together.
Yeah, so you could feel them.
Yeah, but it's interesting the way everybody says, you were sitting right next to each other, and I still thought you were thousands of miles away from one another. And I mean, I think that's just the genius of Sam Hunter's plays, his writing. You could ride on the writing. It's all of it is there. And it's up to you. It's your responsibility to imbue it with what it needs.
Yeah.
All that truth. And because the venue is so intimate and so visceral, we didn't have to push. Yeah. We didn't have to perform. We just had to be really present. And I think all of those things really behooved this particular production, because I can't imagine having to, I've done plenty of plays on really big stages and really big houses where you really have to almost yell every single line.
Right.
You have to project it, but still make it seem like you're just talking like a normal person. So there's this level of artifice or something that comes over it that always drives me crazy. And with this, I was relieved that we didn't have to yell. We didn't have to project that the people were uncomfortably close to us, because it was like they were in the room with us. So it's really difficult to do. But then at a certain point, it breaks. And then we get to be in the same quote unquote room with one another.
How would you describe the dynamic with Jeff as a fellow actor? Because it's just the two of you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How does it ebb and flow? Like it feels like it has to be a strong bond that happens, or that comes to be as you work.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different levels between Jeff and I. It's fascinating. I mean, at first, because I had never met him before or seen him do anything,
right,
and vice versa. And John brought him in, and when we first read through it, the idea was we're going to do some workshops of it, and then we're going to audition a bunch of theaters and see who wants it. The Ruskin was the first place we took it to, and after we did the reading, they all stood up and said, "Oh, fuck yes. We do not bring this anywhere else. This is ours." But Jeff and I worked well together just as fellow actors. Mm-hmm. We also, I think, both wanted to play these roles for personal reasons.
Yeah.
And we also, in the rehearsal process, did weirdly take on some of the aspects of Jerry and Arnie's relationship.
Yeah, I could see that.
There was some big brother, little brother stuff happening there. There were a couple of times where I had to be like, fuck,
Yeah.
We got into some fights and stuff, but when you're working through that kind of stuff, that kind of material, and trying to bring truth to it, and I remember so many times when we would get so emotional that we'd have to stop. And I kept getting frustrated because really strong emotions would come up in moments I didn't want or need them. And I would stop and be like, fuck, like, why is this happening now?
This isn't that heavy. This isn't that heavy moment. Yeah.
Like, it kept coming up in places. And I remember talking to Jeff a lot and saying, I've got to figure out a way to push it down and then hope it comes back up when I need it. And you know what? That doesn't always happen.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it interesting? This writer that you mentioned, the Samuel Hunter, I saw Clarkston, Samuel D. Hunter. I saw Clarkston in Atwater Village, and it was sensational too.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see that? Happen to see that production? It was.
I didn't see the production, but I know the play because one of my side gigs is coaching high school kids into college.
Nice.
And a lot of the younger guys are perfect for that material.
Yeah, it's so good. It was a great production. The Costco of it all. I grew up in a small town with a Dairy Queen, and there's a Dairy Queen mentioned in this play. And there's your character. I would buy that diorama if it existed. And also, we learned that the Dairy Queen closed, which I thought that was like I can't take another tear. I can't take another blow. I'm going to fall apart. But yeah, the DQ, and there is one in Burbank at the mall here, but otherwise, not a SoCal thing. The DQ. Do you have a connection to the DQ, or is that just my thing?
I have a version of a DQ where I grew up, which was on Long Island.
Yeah, and
there was like a knockoff.
Yeah,
but it was, I don't know, I guess imbued with the same kind of emotionality that maybe Arnie was exploring when he was making these dioramas of his life. You know, when I was putting this character together, I actually did order a bunch of like dioramas off of Etsy, like the ones that you could make, because I was doing research, and I was thinking a lot about what is it like to be an artist who works in that medium. That's a deeply specific medium to take a big, painful life and shrink it down to the smallest possible essence and then make that real for somebody who's looking at it. Right. Yeah. So I was making all of these dioramas.
You were making them yourself. You weren't, you were buying like kits to make them as opposed to, buying pre-made ones.
Right. Yeah. And then after doing that for a few weeks, I was like, I think I understand the psychology behind why he's choosing to do this. And I started to realize that the places that he made dioramas of were probably specific to his trauma.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's all tied together.
The tattoo parlor. I'm like, well, why the tattoo parlor? He probably got dropped off there by his mom when she went off on a bender.
Yeah. And
watch Arnie for me.
Yeah. And here at the tattoo parlor. But also your character's husband remarks that those dioramas were the thing that put him on the map. That was the best work he's ever done. He's never done anything better. And you feel this ache of an artist that's like, fuck, what if my best stuff is way behind me?
Yeah.
And inspired by that place full of so much pain. God, there's so many interesting things that come up in this piece. You do a lot of different things. You've written novels, you teach, like acting is one of many things you do.
Yeah.
It sounds like you really hooked on this material and brought it to the finish line, and you get to play the part. But what is it like to do all those other things and then be like, oh, this is super actor time? Like, I gotta fucking zero in on this. Like, right? Or does it all just come back to you because you're a seasoned actor and in addition to doing other things?
This particular year is my first foray back onto the stage in 7 years. I took a 7-year itch. I took a break because in 2019 I had finished doing a play called Daniel's Husband at the Fountain, which was a beautiful piece of theater about these two men who are in love, and one of them wants to get married and the other one doesn't. And then unfortunately one of them has a medical emergency. And because they're not married, the character I play doesn't have any rights to him.
Oof.
So it was advocating for gay marriage, but also advocating for the freedom of people who don't want to get married.
Yeah.
But it was equally as painful as this one. And And I just felt at that time in my life that I needed a break because I had been doing several shows a year since I was 11 years old. And I just wanted to live as me in the world.
Yeah.
And then sort of weirdly, right after I took this break, the pandemic happened. So nothing was happening anyway.
Right.
And yeah, I went back to school for 3 years to get my master's in creative writing, and some stuff was happening around that. So I also wanted to just, not have any split focus and really hone in on publishing these books and all that entails. But to be honest, from the time I was a kid, it was just storytelling.
Yeah.
I think it's in my blood. I mean, I'm Irish Italian, and I think the Irish side definitely with the stories and the writing and the mythology, and my mother being Southern Italian, that's where the fucking drama comes in. So I think the combination of the two has made me arguably insane, but also like those are great resources to have.
Yeah.
My first love in life was books. I mean, I would read, oh my God, I would read hundreds and hundreds of books when I was a kid. I loved books so much. I loved reading so much. And then when I was in 6th grade, I had the chorus teacher just came up to me one day and said, I want you to audition for the school play. And I was like, the what? She was like, school play. I was like, I don't know what that means. She was like, it's where people go up on stage and act. And I had no idea what she was talking about. So it was a musical about the life of Ben Franklin, who I share a birthday with.
Interesting. All right.
And I went in and unbeknownst to me or anybody, I could sing, I could act, I could dance. You
were a triple threat and you didn't even know it.
I didn't even know it.
Did you love it right away? Did you go, oh yeah, this is fun?
Well, interestingly, and I started to do theater more after that. I remember in my mind, I always thought of it like, oh, it's like the people in my books, except up on a stage.
Yeah.
So it was just another level or step up from loving books and stories. It was like it went into 3D.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Yeah. It felt like the same thing, and it just different evolved version. What was it like going back to acting with this part after taking such a long break? Did it come right back to you?
No, actually, the first thing I did right before this was Octopus's Garden at Boston Court.
Oh, right on. Okay, cool.
Which Jessica Kubzansky directed. And so I'm actually a huge cephalophile.
Right. You love octopuses and spiders. I read this on your website.
I was going to be a marine biologist with my life, but things got a little fucked up because my mom died when I was a teenager, and I decided in the wake of all of that, because I was going crazy, that it might be better for me to go to New York City and be gay and do drugs and be an artist than go to the University of Rhode Island and be stuck in science labs.
Right. So you still love the octopuses and the spiders.
Still love the octopus. I absolutely worship octopuses and spiders, 8-legged creatures. But when I heard about this play, that there was a play about these marine biologists who have a giant Pacific octopus who composes a piece of music that could change the world, I went after that with gusto. I called Jess, I called the casting director. I said, you guys know that and they were like, we know, but it's 3 theater companies producing this play. There's a lot of people on the table. All we can do is probably just bring you in. And I was like, bring me in. I'll do the rest. And I booked it. I mean, I really wanted it. I really wanted that play. I really wanted to. I hadn't come across a play before that was exploring marine biologists and cephalopods. Like, what? Yeah. Where are those plays?
Yeah.
And this was such a stunning production. It was so fucking beautiful, this play. And, but even before that, yes, technically, this would have been my first foray back because I saw Grangeville in New York in early 2025, got it, and started workshopping it in the fall before all the Octopus Garden stuff. So if Octopus's Garden didn't happen, you're right. This would have been my first foray back onto the stage.
And how did it feel? Did you feel like, oh, I still got it? It's like riding a bike.
No, I had to get back into the almost circadian rhythms of doing research, memorizing lines, collaborating with other people, infiltrating other people's energy and personalities into your own, going to rehearsal. I also work a full-time job, so, you have to kind of make shifts with all of that to make it work. And I think with Octopus's Garden, I was figuring that all out. And managed to do it. And when Grangeville came along, I felt more confident about it.
Yeah.
And I also was able to I think, to speak my needs a little bit better.
Yeah. Interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
Important too. I saw this play and I thought, this is a little gem, and I hope a lot of people come and see it. And then I'm sort of following on Instagram or whatever. It's getting extended. It's a hit. Like, you're in this little gem that is also a hit. As much as a small theater show in LA can be a hit, right? It's a hit. Do you feel like you're in a hit?
Yep. I mean, the Times came and wrote it a love letter.
Yeah.
And then, and that was a huge plus for us.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the reviews have been astronomical, knock on wood, because that never happens.
It's just so riveting and beautiful. And rich.
It's a hit. But I will say, and I've talked to Judith about this, can we please get the gay guys into this play?
Yes. Well, I'm here for you.
Yes, Dennis, please. I know, because I've been talking about this since before we started rehearsal. It's and we're opening during Pride Month, which I know is total clusterfuck. But, and nothing against everybody who's coming, but I would like some more gay men, especially of a certain age, to show up at this play, because I think it will resonate with them.
Absolutely.
In really, really important ways. Yeah.
My friend and I are around the same age. He had a childhood more akin to what Arnie has. Mm-hmm. I had mine wasn't that bad, but I do share the sort of artsy, not understood, left the town thing, some of those dynamics. But we had a really rich discussion afterwards about is it okay to just say, fuck those people, I'm done? Or do you hold yourself back by doing that? Because I could tell your character was sort of stuck in this thing and he had to do something. There's a moment where we understand what it was like for Arnie as a gay kid growing up in that town. And there's a moment that I don't want to give away too much, but where Arnie learns that it's changed in that town and cries. And I was like, oh, fuck. I mean, it's so beautiful and it's so devastating, because I think to me, it was tears of sadness, but also relief and joy. Like it's such a great moment. And I think that's probably true of my town. There were no gay people in my town. And I think, I found out that somebody in my extended family is a lesbian and it's no big deal, and they married their girlfriend. It's just different, right? And I think Arnie has that moment, and it's really beautiful.
But it's also this thing that is so, just speaking very personally right now.
Yeah.
I just wish there was another person in my lineage, just fucking one, who was gay. There's not.
Interesting.
And that you take on an incredible burden when you are the only one, because people feel justified in saying that it's a socialized thing and not a hereditary thing.
Right.
And that puts an enormous amount of pressure on you. And I think that's what Arnie has suffered with for many, 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 many years. And when he learns that somebody else in his lineage is gay, there's this wash of relief. I mean, he says he's okay. He's doing okay.
He's doing okay in this town where I was terrorized.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, there's that relief.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, maybe somewhere way, 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 way back in the 1700s outside of Dublin, it's a gay Cummings. I don't know. But, in the modern era, I'm the only one, and it's lonely.
And the older we get, we think it's going to get less of all the bad things, and it doesn't. Yeah. I just wrote my first play.
What?
I know. It's been the most thrilling creative experience of my life. We did 3 stage readings at the Fringe Festival.
Yes.
It was so meaningful to me. If I talk to you for more than 30 seconds about this play, I'm going to cry in front of you. That's how it is. It's been that way, the whole thing. And I thought we were in the world of it, and now it's done. And now it's like a bit of back to reality-ness.
Yeah.
But I could see doing a show like this that's so rich and so meaningful and almost like, you know what, the summer of 2026, I wasn't in the world. I was in another place. I think there was a bad president. I mean, there was stuff going on. I could see sort of being like under a spell almost, because that's how I felt. And it was just three shows, right? And not a full production. But I really did feel like, you know what, this might have been a shit show of a year, but that was the year I did that play. And it was everything, right?
Right.
Can you talk about the spell of being in something like this?
Yeah. Well, I do think that this play has some political metaphors inherent in it because of the themes of empathy or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And the divisiveness between these brothers. I mean, one of them could very well be considered MAGA.
Yeah, right? Probably. Small town, Idaho, red state. Come on. Yeah.
Exactly. So I do think it is speaking to a socio-political moment, but the other part of it, to answer your question, okay, so my dad was a New York City fire captain for like 40 years, and I grew up around a lot of firemen and cops, and I just grew up with a very sturdy, hearty work ethic, and also this notion that you should be of service to the world. And so a lot of people, when I went into being an actor, being a writer, being a storyteller, they like to put you down and say, you know, that's not anything useful. That's not anything important. That's all wrapped up in ego and narcissism and all that kind of stuff. And I found that when plays or parts would come my way where I felt like I was doing a great service, then I was really able to step up and feel like I want to connect to people. I'm not so concerned about impressing people. I want to connect to people.
Right.
So I remember, you know, we did this play in New York. When I was living in New York City, I was a member of this company called the Flea Theater, and that was Jim Simpson and Sigourney Weaver's theater.
Right on.
And I was a company member, and the theater was in close proximity to the Twin Towers. And when they went down, the theater was really negatively impacted. So was the office that I worked in. My whole life was in that corner of the world. But
oh, God.
Jim and Sigourney had this, when they went to this dinner, like a metropolitan humanitarian dinner, and they met this woman named Ann Nelson, and she was a journalist who taught at Columbia, and she was sitting at their table and was recounting the story of how she was asked to write the eulogies for a fire captain who lost his entire firehouse.
Oof.
And Jim and Sigourney said, "That's a play." And Anne wrote it as a play, and Sigourney played her, and they brought in Bill Murray to be the fire captain. And that was the biggest thing in New York City at the time. And when it was in rehearsals, Jim came to me and said, "I'm going to cast the understudies out of the company." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "So you'll be there, right?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Okay, I'll see you there on the day." It's like, I can't be one of these firemen. What the fuck are you talking about? I grew up with these men. I don't know, like me and my father were our whole lives. Right. I came out, we repelled one another like magnets. I don't know why. It's some spiritual karmic thing that the two of us are working out, but, you know, I ruminated over this for weeks. And then on the day that the audition was happening, I just remember I got on the train and I was like, fuck. And
I guess I'm doing it.
Yeah, I pulled my script out of the bag and I was like, God damn it. And I went down there and I auditioned and I got it because I did know how to emulate these men. But what was really interesting was when my dad came to see the play.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
All of his firemen friends.
Oh, I can't imagine all of these things colliding.
Yeah. Sigourney, who he's a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Came up to him. They all stood up. You know, she was taller than all of them. And her and Jim said, "You're Timmy's father? Your son is magnificent. He's brilliant. And, you know, I was standing next to them and my face was like on fire. But what was really interesting about it was this amalgamation of two otherwise very disparate things. Theater and firemen?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
And so to the point I was making earlier, when something like that happens and I feel like I'm like being of service, that something is helping the community, helping people, making those kinds of connections, seeing two disparate worlds come together to create a kind of supernova, that was really meaningful. Years later, I got cast to play Ned Weeks in The Normal Heart.
Yep.
That's the character that's based on Larry Kramer.
Yep.
Forget it. Like, forget it. For me, that was, I don't know. I felt like a fucking emergency room nurse.
Right.
The usefulness.
Yes.
And so when pieces like this come across my heart and my sphere, and I'm able to inhabit them and give them away, that's what's important to me. I want to be like moving people and doing really important things out there. It sounds so corny when I'm saying it, but
no, you want to matter. You want to make a difference in the world somehow through what you do. I relate to that.
Yeah. And that's why pieces like this make a difference. And that's why I was saying to you, like, we got to get some of the gay guys in here because, you know, it would be nice for them to have this kind of experience, especially that you had.
Yeah. It was so beautiful and it was 90 minutes, but it felt epic in a way. Like it didn't feel like it dragged, but it felt like, boy, they packed a lot into this story, you know?
It flies by too. Anytime I'm doing the play and I check in and I'm like, oh, right, you're on a stage.
Yeah.
We'll be in like scene 6, you know, where Arnie's wasted.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, we're almost to the end. I did it. There's this incredible feeling of accomplishment when we finish this play.
I bet.
So relieved that we got through it again, because it costs us both a lot to do it.
It's a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about the wasted scene. How do you think about that as an actor?
I mean, I refused to work on that scene until the last possible minute. John was always like, we got to do scene 6. I was like, no.
Not today. I found this play and we're not doing scene 6.
Yeah, like we can't do scene 6. As it's written in the play, it's very, 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 very strange because it comes on the tail of the scenes where they play the spouses, and then it's just this, you know, the way that it's written, there's a lot of like caps, like all caps, like, and it says like Arnie loses it, and I just thought, this is so, how am I, this is a huge switcheroo. Like, how am I going to do this? And, you know, one day I just said, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to try something. I think I might know what it is, but it could be an epic failure. And then we just did it. And, you know, it involved everything that you saw on stage, including the hitch kick.
Right. There was a lot of physical stuff and movement and like this sort of, but it felt like a bit of a catharsis for the character. Like he was letting go with something. And, and again, channeling more the emotions that my friend would think about his childhood than opposed to mine, like good riddance, like that kind of feeling. It was great.
That scene culminates in the climax of the play, which, without giving anything away, literally cracks the sky open. Yeah,
and was incredibly effective, but also says a lot about Arnie.
Yeah,
that happens at the end.
It's fun to do. I mean, you know, like, you know what they say about being drunk when you're an actor, like, don't play drunk.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like you have to convey it somehow, you know, and Arnie's, he's kind of, he's having an experience in that scene, and luckily it all leads toward a kind of salvation, I guess. Yeah.
You mentioned the scene where both actors get to play another character. Both of you guys get to play another character for a scene. It was so interesting and kind of cool. And I don't know how much you want to give away about it, but what was it like to have in the middle of the play get to play another character.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, I mean, most of the reviews have given it away. I don't know how you cannot give it away. But I mean, yeah, this sort of psychological thing happens where each one of the characters inhabits, I don't know that I would say plays, but I would say inhabits almost in a transference kind of way.
Right. There was a spiritual connection to it. The fact that it was Arnie playing this person in his brother's life and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, those scenes serve to elucidate important things about the other character.
For sure.
You get more intimate glimpses into their life in ways that you don't through the scenes with Arnie and Jerry. What's interesting about it is in the play, it doesn't say in those scenes, Stacy and Brom above the lines.
Oh, interesting. It doesn't.
Arnold and Jerry.
It says Jerry and Arnie. That's really interesting from the playwright point of view. Yeah.
And I think that was a clue to
how to play it.
Yeah. We just, like very, subtle shifts and mannerisms and things like that. And I mean, in his case, he had to have a little bit of an accent, right? But
yeah,
for the most part, that's not really what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what's happening. I think I leave that up to the audience because people have so many beautiful insights about it. And they always say, I didn't know what was happening for the first 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah. And then you get it and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, it is interesting. Yeah. And I grew up in a town, must have been about the size of what they're talking about there. So that's
Where did you grow up?
A town called Holbrook, Arizona on Route 66, 90 miles east of Flagstaff near the Petrified Forest. Yeah. But with a Dairy Queen and, but so I related to the small townness of it and how Jerry, he's never left. And the idea of leaving, like his marriage is in trouble. And I also know people in my own life, especially in smaller towns like that if the marriage ends, that's it. Yeah. They don't have any other goals or dreams or whatever. Like that resonated. I just felt like this, all the characters in there, the facets of them were so rich and well explored and felt they rang true. Also, this idea of like, there are people that may have done us wrong and they don't deserve something from us. And it's probably true that they don't, but not giving them that isn't helping us. It doesn't all have to be even and everything doesn't have to be what people deserve. Sometimes you just do it because you want to be that kind of person. Yeah. And being that kind of person is better for you. I don't know. I changed the way I keep score in life around in the last 10 years. I'm not as much like, well, they only called me 4 times and I call them twice as much. And like, I don't keep score that way anymore. Yeah.
It's, as pertaining to the dynamic between these two, it is really heartbreaking because it is true that Jerry is trying. And I think Arnie ends up getting where he needs to go.
Yes.
He didn't have to go back there.
No.
And I think he also didn't need to pick up the phone.
No.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
He's yearning for his own absolution.
Yes.
Because he knows already, even before all this stuff with their mom. He feels that his marriage is potentially on the rocks. His career is tanking. He doesn't feel like himself. These things are all like precursors to him, I think, putting out the signals into the ether.
Right.
Right? And then all of a sudden, here's this, here's Jerry calling. Like, it's opening a portal to something that he really needs to face. And, despite his resistance, which is understandable because of all the trauma he has to process.
Yeah, it's all justified. It's all justified.
It's still like, good on him, man.
Yeah.
Good on him. Yeah, they're going to be okay. I hope. I think that's the way I left it with, Yeah. And then you'll think about, the writing is so great because they played cards as kids and that
that recurs. And then but you remember like, oh, the bigger brother, that was a nice thing that he did for Arnie. Oh, but then he was also, bullying. And then like, it's complicated. And as an audience member, you're not like, that one's the bad one, that one's a good one. You're not like that. And it reminds us of our own families,
there's no easy answers.
Yeah.
It's very pragmatic. It's not preachy.
Yeah.
It's just, Sam is so great at just, presenting life, American life, a specific kind of American life, that Midwestern mentality, he just does it so effectively. You see why he won the Genius Grant. You see why he's a Tony nominated playwright.
Yeah.
He has his finger on the pulse of something really important, and it's a blessing as an actor to do a play like this, or to do any one of his plays, because I've seen a lot of his plays.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, oh, damn, I got to get me one of these Sam Hunter plays.
Yeah. And you did it.
And I did it.
Yeah.
And kudos to him. And I mean, he's still in this weird kind of way. Like, I feel like he's still at the beginning of his journey.
Yeah. He's young. I looked at the picture on the website. I'm like, that fucker's young. Yeah. I also related to the character of Arnie because he was the one that left and went out in the world. And and I'm that in my family, and it's not always been easy to stay connected. And I feel more unconnected than I ever have with my remaining siblings. There's no bad blood there, but the weeks go by and we don't talk, and a lot of time goes by. MAGA was a thing, like I could sense that some of that was going on. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like that kept us apart, but I also felt like it was kind of I would have to go there. Like they were not going to come here.
Exactly.
And that's that feeling of like, I have to do that. And I intend to, but I just haven't gotten around to it, this year or whatever. So I related to the part of being somebody the person that went away and the time that just keeps going by. And you're like, we didn't have a fight, but yeah, it's interesting. You also find out that the mother became interested in art later after Arnie left. So it's kind of like Arnie was had artistic dreams. She didn't support them, but became interested in that topic later. And it's just heartbreaking in a way because Arnie doesn't know that they have a common passion. And maybe it's because of his thing in some way that she became interested. That's heartbreaking as well. Like, oh, she does care about this thing that I love.
She does, and I think, before whatever happened to her, maybe when she was younger, I think she got pregnant and probably, as a woman didn't have a lot of choices, and maybe a woman who was impoverished and a woman who maybe had a drinking problem, didn't have a lot of options on the table. But I think, a lot of her dreams were, revolved around her potentially being an artist. It didn't happen for her, but maybe that's what she passed on to Arnie.
Yeah. They could have this thing in common, but they never knew it. And they never shared it. That's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yep. I mean, it's fascinating the way Sam wrote this play with a character who presides over the whole thing that you never see or meet.
No, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. The mom. Have you met Sam? Yeah. Do you know Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, I mean, he used to go to the Ojai Playwrights Conference a lot, and I used to be on staff at the Ojai Playwrights Conference. So there, and then also through the plays that our director, John, directed of Sam's.
Yeah.
He directed Right New Boise, A Permanent Image, Pocatello. So through Road Machine.
Yeah, they're so good. They do so much good work. Theater's great. I love theater, it turns out.
I do too, and I'm glad that it's just doing so well right now, especially in LA. And I think, listen, I think a lot of actors are going to be going back to the theater when AI keeps taking away all our fucking jobs.
It feels like the one thing that AI can't kill, and I had never been to this particular theater before. I think it's new. But I said to my friend, I'm like, here we are in Santa Monica by the airport in this kind of interesting space. And we're going to see a fucking knockout show. This is LA. I love it. And, you know, having just written my first play, I'm kind of like infatuated with the world of it and the experience of it and the no money of it.
How did it go?
You know what? I think it went really well. I love it so much. You know, the first week we tried to do more staging than we needed to. We didn't, we're doing it as a reading because I don't want to do the world premiere. I want to save the world premiere for a production if I can get it. And that's the amount of time we had. So the first week was way too ambitious in terms of staging. We pared it down. You know, I think it went well. I think people liked it. It's very exposing of myself. Very, I mean, it's very sexual. It's very honest. I feel very, you know, my playwriting teacher, Bernardo Cubria, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's done some stuff locally.
Yep.
In class, he described being a playwright as like opening up your soul, and he kind of pantomimed opening up a coat. And then he stood on this little platform, and then he goes, and then standing on a platform and asking people to come and see it. And that is what it felt like. But it was also really liberating. And I just love, you know, watching the beautiful production that you had, the way the set was and the lighting and the music. And like, this was just basically me trying to do it, everything. And so like the idea of having talented artists come to your thing and say, what if we did this? Like, that fantasy was something that I thought about as I was watching your show, or even before the curtain went up and I was looking at the set and the way the lights were, and like, oh man, all these artists come together just for the thrill of doing it. Nobody's getting rich.
Yeah.
And the audience comes for the experience. Like, there's something about it that's so beautiful to me, the whole ritual of it.
Completely.
To be part of that.
The ephemeral nature of it, right?
Yeah.
That you have to live in it and be, I mean, it's the most present I can possibly be. I am no more present in my life than when I'm on stage. I've been working and working and working really hard for years to be more present in my life, but there's something about stage. And I think I learned this lesson at a young age because I lost my mom when I was young. And there was something about being like, how in fuck's name am I supposed to go through the whole rest of my life? How can the universe give, a mother is the greatest force of love given to each one of us in this existence. And when you have that taken away from you at a young age, you just spend the rest of your life in an existential maelstrom. But I learned from a young age how the impermanence of life and how ephemeral it all is. And that's what keeps me so rooted in theater, because I'm like, I have to live in it when I'm living in it and let it go. Yeah. It just disappears into the ether. In other words, I'm not Jodie Foster, and I love her to death. I'm not Jodie Foster, who's been doing shit on camera since she was 3 years old. Yeah. Her whole entire life and all of her brilliance and all of her joy and pain and sorrow and exploration and spirituality is captured on celluloid forever. Yeah. But she's never done a play. That's interesting. Right? Whereas I'm like, the film and TV thing doesn't compute with my brain because it's not ephemeral. I did look, you were in the Melissa McCarthy movie. Can You Ever Forgive Me? I saw that. Yes. Was that fun? Was that cool? Yeah. You were a bartender? Yeah, you know, I'm friends with Mariel Heller. We did a play together. We've done a couple things together dating back to our days in New York City. And so when that came along, I did a couple of table reads, played a bunch of different characters for her. And then when it moved forward, she called me and said, let's put you on tape to be the bartender. I love it. You got to do the thing that you read the thing for. So many times it's like, oh, sorry, we got John Stamos. Like, what? No, you got to do it. Yay. Yeah. There was a couple of different things that they were considering me for in that, but I was really happy to play the bartender. It was really fun. We actually got to shoot at Julius's for like a week, and I was just sitting there with Melissa and Richard and Grant, and you know, and a lot of people still see it and say, "Oh my God, I didn't realize that's you, all like muscled out in your fucking leather daddy outfit." Yeah, it's called serving. Yeah, it's disturbing.
I want to go back to one of the stories you told about being in the play after 9/11 and your father coming. Was he supportive of your arts career before then, or did it change the way he saw what you did? Or because I would think like, I could imagine him like not really getting it or not like, go do your artsy thing, whatever. And then seeing something like that and going, oh, I get it now. Did that have an effect on him and how he thought about what you do?
I don't know. We never talked about it, but if I were to read some of his stuff from memory, gosh, it's really an enigma.
Because it just feels like the intersection of all that stuff would be powerful for you and for him.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I just came too late in the game. He'd had a lot of kids already.
I feel like that was my thing. My whole thing was I wasn't supposed to be there. That's the way I felt. Like it was like a mistake. It wasn't about my aspects. It was my mere presence.
I think from a young age, I also was exhibiting.
Yeah, I wasn't the kind of boy he wanted, for sure.
Yeah, that stuff, and then when I started to come into my formative years, I was like, oh my God, like I love The Cure, I love Susie and the Banshees, I love Kate Bush, I love Cocteau Twins, and my parents were like, we have Satan as a child, because I was wearing I was like a goth. I was a total goth, and I grew up in a very Catholic household, and they were like, he's the spawn of the devil. Yeah. I just think a lot of things, we didn't have a lot of opportunities to come together or see eye to eye, or had a lot of things in common. I don't really know. In the same way that I was not akin to his call to being a fireman, he may not have been akin to my call to being an artist. Yeah.
Interesting. But you had that moment. You had that moment where they intersected in an interesting way.
That moment really happened, and it was really powerful. Again, like, that's the whole point of all of this, people.
Yeah. I think art and creativity can save the world. I think they make the bad times bearable. Yeah. And I think the more I do this podcast and interview people, the more I'm part of it, I think it more and more and more every day.
Yeah. And at that time, right, New York was hurting. Yeah. Blisteringly so. And here's this little play. Yeah. That comes together. And that thing ran for years. It kept switching casts.
What was it called?
The Guys.
The Guys. I remember that. Did they ever film a version of that?
They did, and I'm in the movie as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm in the movie of that. I felt like it healed New York. I mean, it ran forever, and I was the understudy the whole time. And that's actually what got me my first Broadway gig, because the director, Joe Mantello.
Oh, Joe Mantello directed it.
No, he didn't direct it, but he came to see it.
I got you. Okay.
And then the next day, I got a phone call about understudying Stanley Tucci in Frankie and Johnny that he was doing with Edie Falco.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't think they know that I'm 28.
Right. You were young.
Because playing the fireman, I was, playing that fireman, I was able to, I used my body differently, and I used my voice differently. And I think I conveyed that I was about 20 years older.
Wow. Did you take the gig on Frankie and Johnny?
Oh yeah. I got it, and I took it. I did not expect to get it at all.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, this is a great opportunity. I'll go in and audition. I'm never going to get this, but it'll be a really good experience, because it's a lot of material I have to memorize, and I'm going to go up to this big Broadway theater, and I'm going to meet all these producers. So it's just grist for the mill,
Yeah.
And I got it, and I was shocked. I thought they made a mistake. I called them back, and I was like, Are you sure?
Wow. Did you go on much?
No, I didn't get to go on.
Wow. Did you go on The Guys? Did you ever go on?
Yes, and The Guys a lot.
Yeah.
That's how Joe saw me.
Yeah.
But for Frankie and Johnny, I didn't. But I got to rehearse it on that stage several times a week with Edie's understudy. So I did it for a year. I
incredible.
I didn't play. several times a week for a whole year, and it was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
But you know, it's this weird thing that happens in New York too, right? When you're an actor, like, because New York has what I would call an island mentality. And with an island mentality, and this always happened where people would see you and stuff, and you would just get a call the next day. Like,
that's
hey,
amazing.
I saw you in this play, or my friend, a friend of a friend of a friend saw this and thought you were absolutely genius for this thing. Can we have a meeting? It was just one thing led to another. People would see you and stuff and call you up, and your circle and your opportunities would grow. That's island mentality. In LA, I feel like people see you and they see you be amazing and kick ass, and they don't want to have anything to do with you.
It's really interesting. I feel like that's true. I know I have a friend. You're a threat.
Yeah.
It's true, because I have a friend who's a very funny playwright, and he was the first person that I saw post about your show, actually. His name's Howard Scora. I don't know if you know him.
Yes, of course. Howie.
Okay, Howie. Yeah. So anyway, but he writes these very funny plays. And I remember the last time I interviewed him going, has this opened any doors for you in Hollywood? And he's like, no. You know, because he clearly has a voice as a writer, and he's very funny and like original. And I was like, my heart sank, and I bet I knew it was kind of true. It's different. New York is different that way. Wow. It's
different that way. But yeah. But it's not, I'm not saying that to say that I haven't created a sense of community here. I have. Right. I've created incredible community, and I've worked with all of the best directors in this town. I've worked at all of the best theaters numerous times. I've won all the awards several times over. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was different in New York, where there just seemed to be like a chain of command or something. Right. And you could clearly see your place on it, and had a clear view of your trajectory. Yeah. Here it's murkier, especially with film and TV and stuff like that. I mean, even Paul Sparks, the guy I was talking about earlier, is one of my best friends. He says that to me all the time. He's like, you should have never left New York, because his career really took off. Yeah. And he says that to me all the time. Like, do you ever think about going back? Do you ever think about going back? I'll tell you what's weird. Because I grew up there, I don't feel like I ever left. I just feel like I don't live there. Yeah, you're still a New Yorker. My best friends are there. My godchildren are there. We go back several times a year. We spend several weeks every summer on Fire Island. Yeah. You know, it's just like, it's like embedded in me. Yeah. But, you know, he says that to me all the time. Like, you went out to LA and then you had to fucking start over again. Out there where everybody's crazy. He's like, if you had just stayed here, but I couldn't stay there. Like I said, my life got really turned upside down because of September 11th. And I don't know, I had a friend out here who just, you know, she got a movie in London or something, or her roommate did. And she called and said, do you want this room for like 4 months? And I said, you know what? And I had just finished the Broadway gig. That was the first time in my life I ever made a fucking dime. Yeah. I had money. Yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could go out to LA for a couple months and see if it works because I have money. Right. Imagine that. I'd spent all of those years in New York City after graduating from NYU working 17 jobs just to try and cover my rent. Yeah. And doing plays. It was awful. But that's why I came out here to, you know, have 4 months subletting somebody's apartment, and then skipped back and forth a few times, and then was ready to move back to New York City. But then I met Paul, my Paul. Oh, right. So your husband, married? Yeah. We just celebrated 20 years a couple weeks ago. Congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you. Good for you. So I felt like, you know, I should stay and stick around. But with the film and TV stuff, I don't know if you remember this, but in the early aughts when I arrived here, it was the epoch of reality TV. And so all the people who would get guest stars weren't getting them anymore. They were taking co-stars, and all the people who would get co-stars weren't getting them anymore. And so the whole ecosystem got really askew. And one of the things that happened because of that was that the theater scene started to blossom in really beautiful ways, because there were all these amazing actors out here from Chicago, from New York, from London, right? from Canada and from the Seattle scene, from the San Francisco scene, who were like, well, we're not just going to sit here and not act. So people banded together and started to create some of these incredible theater companies, and now they're forces to be reckoned with. Like,
they really are. And when you go see a great production like yours, it's just like, oh, I'm so glad this is a thing that exists, and that all these people have the passion, because one person's passion isn't enough to make all of those things come together. Tell people how they can see your show, and then I have one more question for you.
Okay, so Grangeville is running right now. Well, this holiday weekend we're off.
Right.
But then we pick up again the weekend of July 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's going to run through the 26th, although it's going to extend some more. They haven't announced it yet.
Right. This is a scoop.
Rustin Group Theatre.com. Theater, Theatre. R-E.
RustinTheaterGroup.com. Very cool.
Rustin Group Theatre.com.
Awesome. Everyone needs to go see Grangeville. It's one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. So moving, so beautifully acted. Final question. What has it meant to you in your life to do this production now?
Oh, I just got really emotional. How dare you? Oh my God.
Man, I still got it.
Okay, a couple of things. I think one of them is that my friend Paul told me to go and see it, which really piqued my interest. And when I went to see it and felt moved by it, I felt something move through me that inspired me to figure out a way to make it a part of my life.
Wow.
And I say that to empower everybody.
Right.
Meaning, if something comes across your field, you better go after it.
Right.
You cannot sit on your ass. No one's going to call you, man. No one's going to call you. Make it happen. Okay. So for me, it's testament to that fact.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I wanted to do it. I made it happen. It's happening. Even right now, we're talking about it.
Right.
It's all happening. It's just been spiraling out of my heart since the moment I saw the play in New York City in early 2025. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, again, what we talked about earlier, that I feel a sense of peace when I can use my creativity and my artistic skill to make a difference, to feel like I'm doing a service job. In this case, it's for all the Arnies out there. I know there are a lot of us.
Right.
I know it. And that's right. I want them to see this play.
Arnies who are justified in all of their feelings and all of their resentments or whatever. They're justified, but it's maybe not serving them. And maybe they can figure out a way to move through and be happier. That theme really came through. When you talked about that moment, that rush you got, I mentioned the playwriting class I took earlier. About the second week or so, I was watching the teacher speak about something, and we had started thinking about our plays and writing, and I felt this warm rush go through my body, from my feet up to my head. Never experienced it before or since, but I took it to mean that I'm in the right place.
Yep.
I need to be writing this play. And there were things along the way that the universe was like, here's your next thing. I wrote it, but I don't remember it being fraught or whatever. It unfolded. And I'm going to take that fucker as far as I can take it, because it felt kind of like the experience that you had, like this thing of like the bigger than me or something, right? But it was a feeling that was almost like physiological in a way.
Yeah. It was the muses coming through you and saying, now you're going to be a vessel.
Yeah.
Basically. And, and in a way, it's like channeling. I mean, did you ever watch that Elizabeth Gilbert TED Talk?
We've talked. Somebody else was talking to me about Elizabeth Gilbert and how genius is in the walls, and
the genius. Yes, it's that kind of thing. It's like, listen, if you open yourself up to it, your muses and your spirit guides and all of the like energies out there. I mean, if you think about it, if you think about the breadth of brilliant artists that have lived on this planet and passed on, and how that energy is still floating around us, and how it just wants to use you as a vessel to keep going.
Yeah.
It's out there, but you got to open yourself up to it, and you have to make yourself available, and you have to care, and you have to be good to people. Thank you very much.
I think that the reason I am in the place where I could have this experience, and I don't know if the play's good or going to matter or whatever, but I'm having an experience with it, is because of how I've chosen to try to be in the last decade of my life. And, you know, the consciousness with which I try to approach my life. I felt like, I'm in a place where this could happen to me. I don't think it was an accident. And isn't that interesting that that's something you've experienced as well with this piece? So in one of your Instagrams, you said you hope it could just run on and on and on and on and on. Is that true? Would you love to just keep doing it for a long time? Or is there a certain point where you're like, wow, this takes a lot out of me?
This play?
Yeah.
Well, it is an actor's dream to do this play, and we do, both Jeff and I feel and John, our director, and our whole creative team.
Yeah.
Had such a great time getting this up. It is why you do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, you want to keep doing something that brings you great happiness as an artist, as a creative. And this one especially is resonating with people. And this one especially has, I think, really helped the theater.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, if the conditions were right, of course, I would go for as long as people were showing up. I mean, isn't that what Broadway does? Right,
exactly. And it's a hit. That's what's so cool. You know, so many times you see little gems like this, and maybe they have their 4-week run or whatever, and then, but I love that this feels like it has like that hit feeling. I could feel it in the audience. It was packed, and people were into it. Yeah.
I would like it to keep going as long as people come, and the way to get people there is through word of mouth.
Yeah.
Through what we're doing right now, talking about it, and just expanding the web, expanding the community, because I do believe that it wouldn't dry up.
Yeah.
If word got out, because again, using Broadway, I mean, some of these plays go 8 times a week for a year or more.
Yeah.
The people are out there.
Yeah. I love it.
They just have to know.
They have to know. Well,
and these aren't $900 seats with an A-list celebrity. These are $45. And if that's too much for you, let me know. I have a code to get you 25% off. All right.
Ooh, I love it. I love a discount code moment on my podcast.
Just reach out to me and come and see it. And please continue this conversation, because as evidenced by what you experienced today, it's an important conversation to be having.
I love it. Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I love the play. I'm probably going to come and see it again and tell all my friends. And I'm so glad we got to have this conversation. Thank you so much.
Bennett, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again to Tim Cummings. Go see the play Grangeville. You will be glad you did. It's at the Rustin Group Theatre, and I think the website is rustingrouptheatre.com. It is so good. It'll give you lots to think about. It'll move you. You will relate to it. And it's just a beautiful production. All right, so this happened. Today is Sunday, and I went to Toluca Lake had a Pride Festival. You guys, Toluca Lake is a little neighborhood in the San Fernando Valley near Studio City. It's there is an actual lake, but I've never seen the lake because I think it's private and you have to be rich to have a house on the lake. But there is a lake that is there. But anyway, they had this little Pride Festival, and I follow this gym on Instagram called NoHo Gym. I think I'm going to start taking classes there because it's a gay-owned gym, and it looks very kind of like mom and pop, like kind of a cute place. And anyway, they were the producers of this thing, I think, along with a lot of other people. But they had food trucks, they had lasagna on a stick, they had cool booths. It was cool. And I ran into a ton of friends there. So yeah, and you know what? Nobody was throwing up, because that's my normal Pride experience. Is you walk in and you're like, I love my gay brothers and sisters, and somebody's like, bleh. There's a lot of drunk people, is my point, and occasional fighting and vomiting. But Toluca Lake Pride was enchanting. So keep an eye out for that for next year. I like a little pop-up Pride in a smaller community. It's kind of cool and meaningful. I love it. All right, that's enough for this week. Shout out to Oscar Rosario for mixing my episodes. My theme music is by Mark Daniels, Replacement Music. Catch you next time on Dennis Anyone. Bye.